So it's Saturday morning, July 6th, and we're going to take a quick tour of the garden and see where everything is at. There's a few things that are doing great, a bunch of things that are doing great actually, and a few things that are doing just okay, and a couple of things that are really ticking me off because they either haven't grown or aren't where I want them to be for this far into the season. So let's take a tour of the garden. So first thing I want to start with are the onions. I've got red onions and yellow onions. They're doing fantastic. Harvested a couple of them. They taste great. I'm super happy with how they've come out. I have noticed that because of the soil right here, it's not getting dug down very deep. The onions are going more wide and they're not as deep, so they're only about yay deep as opposed to being more round. So it is kind of an interesting shape on the onions, but they taste great and I'm very happy with how they're doing. Over here to the left of the onions, I have some carrots. The rows of carrots are doing pretty well. I have been slowly thinning them out, just waiting to see which ones are getting bigger and look healthier. I need to do some more thinning big time. Then I've got some rows of beets, some regular just dark red beets, and then I've got the fancy pink and white beets. I'll have to look up the name. I can't remember it off the top of my head. And then a few more carrots. And then back here I had a couple rows of radishes that I've already harvested that were pretty good. That tasted pretty good too. So now over on this end of the garden, I got a few surprises where I planted my peppers. I planted 6 pepper plants and I'm getting some peppers, but I also had a couple things that showed up that I was not expecting. So the first thing that I wasn't expecting is this wild tomato plant. There's a wild cherry tomato plant that must have came from last year's cherry tomatoes. Not only did I get one of those, I got 2 wild cherry tomato plants. So my peppers, I haven't decided if I was going to pull them yet or not. I'm just kind of letting them go to see what would happen. But I might end up pulling them because I got a ton of cherry tomatoes that you'll see here in a little bit. But my green peppers are doing pretty good. There's some peppers in here right now. Got some peppers growing. So that's good. I think every plant has some starts. There's a few in here. Here's one right here. And then over here, I've already harvested one from here. This is a pretty good size pepper right there. But then I planted 3 more peppers, and so I planted a carnival blend. It was a green pepper carnival blend, and this one is starting to show a few just regular green peppers that might be the carnival blend, so they have like a purple color. But then the other 2 that were supposed to be carnival blend, for some reason, are banana peppers. I don't understand how that happened. I used them from the same seed packet. This one and this one and this one are all from the same seed packet, and one is a green pepper, and then the other 2 are banana peppers. And I'm very confused by this because I got them from the same packet, and I don't know how I got carnival peppers and then got banana peppers in the process. And I don't know what to do with them because I don't really eat banana peppers, and I don't know how to cook them to what they go good with. I can Google it, but if you got some suggestions, let me know. So then next to the banana peppers, I have some winter squash. Everything is looking great. There's some flowers that are blooming here, so we should have some fruit on the squash here pretty soon. That would be awesome. And then along the entire back row of the garden is a bunch of different tomatoes. There's a whole row of tomatoes here. I've got 2 black cherry tomato plants. I've got 2 baby cherry tomato plants. They're all doing so good. They've got so many cherries on, or so many tomatoes on them. I've been picking them, eating a few here and there. The black cherry ones look great too. All kinds of them growing. And I've got super sweet cherry tomatoes here. And then I've got 1 honeycomb cherry tomato, which is actually pretty good. Pick that one. Honeycomb cherry tomato. They're really good. I like them. Oh, here's another one. Let's have another one. See. Yep. I'll take them. They might be my favorite of all the 4 varieties that I'm growing so far. I haven't quite decided, but they're pretty good. Then next to the cherry tomatoes is a tomato plant I got from my dad. I think it's just like a beefsteak tomato. Then I have 4 Roma tomato plants that are doing awesome. There's so many tomatoes on each one of these. So many of them. Can't wait to harvest these. None of them are ripening yet, which is fine, but I just know we got a bunch of them coming. And then next to the Romas are delicious tomatoes. These seem a little bit further behind. There's not as many tomatoes on there yet, so they might be a little bit of a late bloomer. I don't know, still figuring this out. But these are delicious tomatoes. There is a few here that are showing up that look pretty good, but not a ton. So for the tomatoes, I had to actually put in a stake on each one of the tomato plants to make sure that it wasn't blowing over, because this whole back row is on the edge of the garden, and the way the wind was whipping through, it was bending over all the tomato plants. So every tomato plant got a stake put into it to hold it up to keep it from tipping over and breaking. Then next to my tomato plants are some raspberries that I've planted. There's a raspberry plant right here that is getting some leaves on it, but it's not really doing much. And then there's one more over here that has done nothing. So I don't know if it's gonna do anything or if it's gonna come back or what's happening, but I got one and we'll see what happens next year. Next thing I want to show you guys is the artichokes. We've got artichokes going here. The artichokes are something I've never grown before. I mean, I'm a new gardener anyways, but they've never even tried these, and they're a perennial, so I won't get any fruit from them this year, but they're doing pretty good, except for this one. This one has just kind of decided to die on me. I don't know what happened. I don't know why, but all the leaves started falling off. And so now we're just hoping that these other four stick around and grow for us. Then next to the artichokes is watermelon. This whole section right here is watermelon. We've got two different kinds. There's like a snake variety and then a crimson variety. So we got two spots of each variety here. And they're going pretty well. I had to kind of direct it because we're running out a little bit of space, got some space there, but I had to kind of direct them a little bit. And then next to the watermelon is some cantaloupe. I planted two spots of cantaloupe here, and they seem to be doing really, really well. See a lot of flowers on there, so I hope they're gonna bear some fruit for us. The watermelon looks to be doing really good as well. We're very excited about the watermelon. Next to the watermelon is an asparagus bean, which I'm thinking I'm gonna have to put a trellis up because it looks like this is wanting to grow up. I don't know. If you know what to do here, please let me know, because I'm not sure, but I'm thinking I'm gonna have to put a trellis here so that the beans can continue to crawl up, because it seems like that's what they wanna do. I only got a little bit of those, so not too crazy to put up a trellis. And then I have just traditional green beans here. A whole row of traditional green beans that are starting to flower a little bit, starting to see a little bit of green beans, starting to see a little bit of fruit. And then coming back up in the buckets is cabbage. Harvested this one, just need to pull it out and clean it up. This one is the one, this one tried to die on me earlier in the year, and so I replanted it, and it's actually coming back, and it might end up giving me a head of cabbage, which is great. That one looks about ready. That one's definitely ready. Almost ready, definitely ready. Then I planted a row of spinach in here that we've harvested, that when it started to get really hot, didn't stick around and do so well, started to die. The kids came out here the other day and clipped all the spinach that we had, but here's one that's still going pretty well. This one ended up tasting really good too in the salads that we've made. Then next to the green beans, this is purple broccoli. The plant is getting huge, but I haven't seen any broccoli at all yet. And then there's another purple broccoli right next to it that's not as big, but still looks super good. Then next to those is regular broccoli that's been harvested a few times. It looks like there's a lot more coming back. I keep harvesting it and it keeps growing. Won't stop. Let's pick some of it. I don't know if there's anything better than eating veggies right out of the garden. Tastes pretty good. Then next to the broccoli is cauliflower, and I'm actually getting a little bit of cauliflower. I don't know if you can see it in there. And then this one's got a nice big head on it over here. So I'm really excited about this. My dad's been helping me with gardening, and he has never really had much luck with cauliflower, and so I've got a nice big head going right there, and that's awesome. Then next to the cauliflower is one of the ones that are kind of irritating me because it's not growing like I want it to. It's not a huge deal because I don't really eat a lot of them, but their plant is very disappointing with how well it's doing. It hasn't grown in months, so maybe I'm doing something wrong. I've been watering it plenty. I don't know what's going on. And that's my jalapenos. I got two jalapeno plants here. This one looks like it's actually starting to grow a little bit, but this one just looks pathetic, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know if I should dig it up and replant it, or if I should just call it a day or let it go. I don't know what to do here. And then the other jalapeno plant looks like it's doing all right. And then over here on the backside of the broccoli is a whole row of potatoes. The potatoes are not looking super great because they're starting to die off because it's about time to harvest them. I harvested some the other day and they tasted amazing, so I'm just going to figure out when I'm going to harvest the rest of these and what to do with them. Then next to the potatoes is a whole bunch of cucumbers that are starting to come up. We're starting to get a whole bunch of little baby cucumbers in here. We got 2 different varieties of cucumbers. There's one right there. Cool, very cool. Starting to get some. We actually had 1 cucumber the other day that the kids got to harvest, so that was fun. And then back behind the cucumbers is some zucchini. Getting a whole bunch of zucchini starting to come up, starting to grow here. A whole bunch of different ones. Got 4 zucchini plants. Another zucchini plant over here. Last year our zucchini plants just went nuts and we had so much zucchini, but my wife made these amazing zucchini chips. Just put them in a dehydrator and put a little seasoning on them. They were so good, so we're growing a few extras this year to try that again because they were amazing. And now on to the thing that has been most frustrating this year in the garden is my strawberry beds. I have planted 2 batches of strawberries in these 2 strawberry beds right here. The first batch was 25 in one bed, 25 in the next. Only one of them grew. I was like, what the hell? Maybe I got a bad batch. But then I planted a second batch of them and I put 30 in one and 30 in the other, 2 different varieties to try to get different. I had some June bearing and some ever bearing strawberries because I wanted to have both, and only 3 have survived. So I'm thinking it's something I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've watched some videos. I think maybe I didn't leave enough of the plant up to start the growth process, but maybe I got bad soil too. I don't know what exactly is going on. But anyway, I got to plant something in here. I haven't decided because I've just been so angry about the fact that nothing's growing here. I think I'm just going to end up planting some broccoli or something like that. Maybe some more green beans or some spinach or some basil or something in here just to make use of the space. But if you have any suggestions of something that you haven't seen in this video that would be great to grow from July through the end of the season, which is like mid-October for zone 5B. We're right on the edge of 5A, 5B. I would love to try something different. I don't know what to try, so if you got any ideas on what I should put here, please let me know. Put it in the comments. So then here's the strawberry. There's one that's growing, and then I think that's another one right there, and then I got one more over here, and that's it, out of 60 strawberries. And then there's this guy. I got an owl decoy. Not really doing much, because I came out this morning and there was 2 bunnies running around the garden. So that's it for the main garden. I don't have another garden, so to speak. I do have a onion ring section over here that we're going to check. There was an old fire pit that I turned into an onion ring because I thought it was kind of cool, and it turned out pretty well. The onions seem to be doing pretty good. These onions were started from seed, and so they're way behind the other onions because the other onions were started from a bulb, but these were from seeds, and so they're doing pretty good. They're actually getting some pretty good size, turning out pretty well. Pretty happy. All right, so that's it for the early July garden tour. I appreciate you watching. I hope you were able to just sit back and relax and enjoy. Stay tuned to the channel for more to see how the garden ends up and what I decide to do in those strawberry beds. I'll see you in the next video.